Okay, I clicked record
Alright.
so that I can just do the intro and we can keep talking. Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to On About.
Vale's chicken today.
Or I'm the Terminator. Actually, no, I was a cat today, but we'll get to that. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to On About. That's what it is. I was like, what am I talking about? I'm your host. Fuck, I forgot the entire intro. Rewind. Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast. Fuck.
Do you want me to do it?
Dude, just put it there and that'll be your intro.
No.
Yes. It doesn't
Welcome
always
back
have
to
to
On About the podcast.
Welcome back to On About.
it doesn't always have to be nice and polished.
No, okay. The podcast with bookworm, a casual reader, and someone who can barely read. To be completely clear, Sofhi can read. She's dyslexic, so am I. The difference is that Sofhi's dyslexia has left a really bad taste in her mouth, and mine made me want to prove that I could read. But she does read, obviously.
Also, this pertains...
She's not Jared.
What's Jared?
Hi, I'm Jared. I'm 19. I never learned how to fucking read. Oh. Isn't that his name?
Yeah, I think so. Also, if I look a little busted, I'm not wearing makeup because I still have hives.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I have been wearing this makeup since the morning, but I had cat whiskers and a nose. Yeah. Today was Animal Day at my school. Ooh, you can tell what color your hives are, and that's your romantic color.
See, Sofhi, getting hives help you get your colors match.
No, guys, I looked like the Wreck-It Ralph when he hit himself. Not the Wreck-It Ralph, the Fix and Felix.
Oh when no!
He hurt himself and then fixed himself. But
you know what I was thinking? Maybe you need an air filter.
We have one.
Yeah.
It's been going ham the entire week I've been in my room.
You know, I kind of feel like maybe, and this might be a little nuts, but I think just like a Victorian sick lady, I honestly think you need to take a trip to the sea just to get better.
Next week I'm going.
Also, yeah.
Also, I went back to the doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned to you guys, got tested. Everything came out negative, but I was having an allergic reaction to something. Right?
Oh wait, to catch people up because they don't know what's going on. Sofhi randomly broke out into hives last week, which, by the way, this is the week after the week that we didn't post, which we need to put on the podcast itself.
It's been going on for 2 weeks.
Dude, fuck, Sofhi.
Yeah. So she went to the hospital or to the doctors instead of recording last week. And that's why we're talking about her hives.
Wait.
So I went.
So what should I put? For missed a week, but we're back.
Missed a week because Sophi's dying, but it's okay, we're back.
Well, it's not just Sophi's fault, because let's be real, I was in another city.
Missed a week because Sophi's dying, Gaby got a boyfriend, and Vale learned that her job is exhausting.
Gaby got a boyfriend. You know what? Speak it out into existence.
That's what I'm doing.
Anyways, so I went to the doctor, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna do a panel, so we can check what you're allergic to." And here in the vet, here where we live, there is a lot of allergens. They tested everything, came back completely negative.
That's good, at least.
Yeah, at least I'm not allergic to cats.
That's nice.
Fuck. Yeah.
So then you're just itchy.
Yeah. I guess I just have dry skin. And then so there's one nurse that's always there, and she always looks super incompetent.
No.
I mean, she has a job, so I'm assuming she like did all her like things.
Years.
Yeah, but like she always looks like just out of it. And I was talking to her about the last lady who did my blood work, and I was like, it was so nice. Like I didn't even feel it. I didn't even bruise, right? And as soon as she put the needle in, I felt pain, like pain, because she had to not only like stab it in, she had to like press it in to like get the blood out. And look at the bruise. I don't know.
Oh, dude, fuck. Dude, fuck.
That's so intense. No, and like Sophie was telling this to us over in the group chat, and I was telling her because I don't get my blood drawn a lot. I just don't. Like I don't donate blood because I'm scared and I'm a big baby. But regardless, I came to Korea. You have to do some blood work because that's just part of like the contract that you sign. You have to go and get like a physical checkup, and the lady, I sat down with her and she kind of just was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna like get your blood done or like get some of your blood. Give me your arm." So I give her my arm and I'm like a little nervous. I'm trying to like psych myself up in my head, and she literally just goes, and then she like taps my arm, puts it in, blood starts flowing. I was like, "How did she do that? I
No,
don't
yeah.
even know."
The lady took forever. She was like
Ooh.
for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I can't even extend my arm fully. Yeah, like.
Oh.
She popped your vein, dude.
Mhm.
She fucking popped your vein. And my mom is a nurse or was a nurse, and she worked like night shifts and stuff.
I recall.
And she has always said some people were not meant to be nurses because they don't take the time to like know how to do it so it doesn't hurt. And I
Mm.
donate plasma like pretty frequently to like get money. And there's a few nurses that just jam it in there and it hurts and they have to re-stick the needle. And then there are some that are so sweet where they're like, "Look over there." Boom, and it's in and I didn't even feel it.
Look over there.
Motherfuckers. Some people are not meant to be healthcare providers, but that is my personal opinion.
I think so too. Like that whole mean girl ends up being a nurse stereotype. I feel is pretty
You know what's the best
true.
one? When the nice hot Cheeto girl becomes a nurse.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yep.
That's a
Kayla should have been a
great
nurse.
story. Oh, Kayla actually would be a really good nurse.
Hi Kayla. We think you'd be a good nurse.
Okay, but don't do it because of us, because like people will like spit on you and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
do
don't
gross
don't
shit.
no, like no, I know she's just like abundantly clean and like
Mhm.
I feel like she'd just be like a kind
Yeah,
person.
and she'd be
But
like, she's so loyal too.
yeah.
She'd be good in pediatrics, like
Yeah.
with kids.
Maybe. No, Kayla loves kids. Like
Yeah.
her niece and nephew, like she's all over them.
Also, let's call this dude. I don't. Well, hopefully he doesn't listen to this. I hope he doesn't. But
What are you coming up with like a fake name?
yeah, you think it up. You're better at it than I am.
What's his actual name? I'm gonna cut it out.
Okay, his name's
Okay, cool.
Sophie. No. Okay, but
Yeah.
like, be honest. Gabriella Shannon. That
I kinda
sounds
like
like
it.
old
Oh
money.
yeah.
I kind of like it.
Not
I
because of him,
do.
but because of me. It sounds really good.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's
It
pretty.
does. I mean, it sounds better than you would like dating a Mexican.
Dude, I could have been Gabriela Guerrero.
That's not too bad.
I like
Gabriela
that.
Guerrero.
That's
GG.
Gigi.
not bad. GG. Oh my god. Also,
Maybe
okay,
or
well, we'll just I can't say San Fran boy because well, everyone's
No,
gonna know.
Sophie, you come up with the name.
that's what I'm thinking. Cause like, oh, let's just do pineapple. Cause that's super basic, and everybody,
Okay.
you know,
Pineapple.
yes, it's that meme on TikTok when you're just like, oh my god, I was talking to pineapple.
That's perfect. Okay, and plus he has like a cowlick in the back of his head, so he kind of does look like a pineapple when it gets cut too short. But
Okay.
we went rock climbing, speaking of bruises,
Mhm.
and you can climb all the way up on the rock climbing wall and just let go and fall like 10 feet down onto squishy ground and you're
Mhm.
fine. Well, I did that and I would climb all the way up and they'd be like, "You should come down a little bit." I didn't listen. And I would fling myself off the top and look at this bruise. Can you see it?
Yep.
Oh my gosh,
Yep,
I
that's a
yeah,
big
Michelle.
bruise.
I hit myself coming down like several times. Like
Oh my
I'd
god.
fall straight down and my arm would like hit the wall.
Oh my god, really quick. Y'all keep talking. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't have any new bruises. I have one on my leg that I don't know where it came from. You know.
Probably one of
You
your
know, it's
kids.
probably you just hitting yourself against like a desk when you're busy or something.
Also true, I do crash into things pretty regularly. But yeah, and then no, it's guys, there's like a whole drama because okay, I'm a new teacher, right? So like multiple things have happened in the 2 weeks that we haven't spoken.
Yeah.
And one of them is that I have one kid, call her H.
Okay.
She was one of the more like bratty kids in my class. Not in like I don't want to do anything type of way, but in the like don't touch my shit type of way. And like she would be
Oh,
kind of aggressive.
yeah.
And I would always have to be like, H, don't do that. Be nice. We
Yeah.
don't do that to friends. And she apparently finds me terrifying.
Good. It's because you're white.
Apparently, I'm fucking scary. I've never been confused in my life. I've never been classified as scary. Because, like, when I say, like, oh, I yell at the kids, I'm not yelling at the kids. I'm yelling over the kids because the kids are screaming. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
quiet. But, like, I'm never yelling at the kids because you're not supposed to do that for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. My kids, on top of that, my kids, my class, my 5 year olds, they love me. Like
Yeah.
every morning we have a song where they go, I love you. And then they go, and every morning they have to do it twice. And every morning they used to dogpile me and hug me after the song. Every
Oh,
single morning. Until recently I was like, did teacher say you can touch her? And they were like,
damn.
mm-mm. So now every time that a kid wants to hug me, they come up to me and I can see they want to hug me and that's fine. But I always say, can you say, can I hug you? And now they'll go, can I hug you? And I'll do yes or no. And then my co-teacher, she basically said to them in Korean, like, if we want to hug teacher and teacher says no, and you want to show teacher that you love her, you could do small heart, medium heart, big heart. And like, so now like that's like a thing, right? This kid was also doing those things. Like she would come up to me, she would hug me,
Oh,
and she would like. So she doesn't show up for a couple of days. My co-teacher's like, "Oh, she's sick." I was like, "Okay, she's sick, no big." And then all of a sudden, I hear from the two other teachers. There's five teachers. There's three teachers in like the 5 year olds. So there's three classes. I hear from the other teacher, the main teacher. She says, "Hey, so apparently H is now in my class because she only had 8 kids and now she now has 9 because she is in her class now.
okay.
And it's supposedly because I was telling her to go away. Like I specifically said to her, go away aggressively, and she's scared of me. And so obviously like the Korean teacher that's in charge of us, in charge of all of like the native teachers, she comes up to me, she's like, hey, did you ever tell her to go away? And I said, maybe when the kids were hugging me, because like I was starting to question myself. I was like, maybe when because the kids will all dogpile and I say, hey guys, no, like, and then I realized I was like, I didn't say go away, I said
Mhm.
go to your seats, or like, let's all go to our seats, go, let's all go to our seats, like
Yeah.
that's what I say. And they're like, yeah, because you're not supposed to say that. And I was like, I haven't, like I've just been,
Yeah.
and like my Korean co-teacher who was with me, she said, no, like that never happened, like I'm
Yeah.
there all the time, like
Yeah.
that did not happen. So basically this little girl tells her mom, oh, I'm scared of Miss Vale, I don't want to go to school, I'm sick, all this stuff. So they switched her into the other class. And I felt so bad because I just have never been called scary. And like
Mhm.
I'm like the princess teacher at this school. Like people call me Belle. So like, and I think I've said this in the podcast. So I'm just like, okay, this kid is lying. And the mom straight up said like, I think this is a lie, but this is what I heard. So just in case, here's what my daughter said to me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I didn't do it.
Oh
So like, but
man,
like I felt so bad. And so now I
I
have a new
I
kid.
feel bad.
I felt so bad. Like I wanted to cry because like I was under the impression that I had this like really like cute loving classroom because I do. Like today I drew a big heart on the board and I said I put teacher loves you, and then all the kids were going like, because
You know what I think it is? I'll be for real.
mm-hmm,
Um, I just don't think I think that kids they view things in like a cartoony way.
probably
When I look back at my childhood and teachers that I didn't like, everything kind of looks like distorted and I
mm-hmm.
only get like their main features. And Val, I'm not gonna lie, it's nothing against you. It's just that you're not Korean.
Yeah,
But they think I'm pretty here.
They
Like the
think you're
kids think I'm
pretty.
pretty.
They
Like
think
straight
you're
up, one of
pretty.
my problem kids will walk up to me and go because he wants to hold my hand, or like he'll run
No,
up to me and go like carry me.
being pretty can still be scary.
honey,
Sometimes
That's
you're breathing
true.
pretty is
really
being
heavy into the mic.
intimidating.
What'd you say?
You're breathing very heavy into the mic.
Me?
Vale.
Oh.
She's like,
I think I'm just moving around.
no, it's breathing.
But
Sounds like Star Wars.
I
Mm,
just think that
I
if
am your father.
you should go and like say something to her. Be like, "I'm sorry if I scared you," you know?
That's the other thing. She's still in my class because we rotate. So she's just not in my main class, but now she is still in my class every afternoon. and she just transferred into the other classroom. And I saw her, and she looked at me like she did not want to talk to me, right? So I was very calm, and I was like, "How are you doing?" Like, "Okay, let's do our work." And she was like on her best behavior, but apparently with everybody else, she was like acting up. So I feel like that's
Oh.
guilt. But anyway, I get a new student. This kid, he's been there for 2 days. He's already hurt someone,
Oh my
has
god.
called me and another teacher fat, straight up in Korean, says to both of us. He was saying it to me all morning, but I didn't know the Korean word for fat. I just thought he was making random noise. Because, like, usually when someone says something in Korean that I should know, one of my kids is so good at English now that she will say, Miss Vale, this person said this in Korean, or like whatever, like in those words. Nobody said
Whoa.
anything. So I was like, okay, it's just like random noises. And then one of the other teachers that does the rotation, I was like, hey, how did it go? Because it was the first day. And she's like, he called me fat. And I was like, and then she says the word, and I was like, he said that to me all morning. And she's like, oh, so he's calling you fat too. And I was like,
I guess
but then
so.
as she's saying this little boy, because I was in the gym, and in the gym, it's just like a big mat where we have to take off our shoes. He sees me sitting there, gets super excited, takes off his shoes, and tries to run at me. And then my Korean co-teacher has to run up to him and be like, no. So I'm like carrying him back to class. She's like, it was like a whole thing. And she goes, he really likes you. And I was like,
You can't tell.
Okay.
what? Super random. So this is a very interesting dynamic I've got going on. Let's get started. How long have we been talking? Yeah, we've been talking for a bit.
But you want to know something? This is super, like, chill. This book is so chill. Like, I think we can just breeze past it.
Yeah, well, we're about to finish it today, so.
Woo!
Yeah, we're at chapter 10. We were supposed to read 4 up to 7. I misunderstood myself, and we went up to chapter 9 in the last episode, which means that we're past the middle of the book. Yeah. Okay, so we
Right?
only have 7 chapters left. Okay, so we're on chapter 10. And this is so sucky because I like being able to edit and then do the recordings after I edit. But because
Yeah.
I've been so tired, I haven't. So I don't remember what we said or what we did in the last episode, sadly. So I'm just going to go straight into chapter 10. Okay, yeah. So the next chapter is the Rogue Bludger, right?
Yes.
Okay, Gabby, you got to read the chapter title. I forgot.
Okay. Chapter 10 The Rogue Bludger.
Perfect as always.
I tried so hard.
It sounds great. After the incident with the pixies, Lockhart. Oh, okay, yeah. So Lockhart had just done the whole, can you get them back in for me? I'll just leave you 3 to do it type of thing. So after the incident with the pixies, Lockhart reverts to the role playing in his dark arts class. Hermione approaches Lockhart at the end of class and asks for permission to get a book out of the restricted section of the library in order to better understand the tactics employed in one of his books. Lockhart is very flattered by this attention paid to his work, so he signs the slip. And Harry and Hermione hurry into the library where they are given the book. From what I just read, right? This part I think is really funny because Lockhart is Ron and Harry think that Lockhart is a big joke because he's handsome.
Well,
They
he is
end
a
up
big joke, but
Yeah, they end up being correct, but I think that's funny because
It's not because
Hermione
he's
is in
handsome.
love with him. Huh?
It's not because he's handsome.
That's why they think he's a big joke. But like obviously they're right, like he's clearly not very intelligent, but he was in Ravenclaw when he was in Hogwarts. And Hermione is like super in love with him to the point that when they go pick up the book from the library, she begs the librarian to give her the note that he signed back so she could keep the autograph. And like Ron has to literally say to her, like, it's fine. We can get you another autograph, Hermione. Like, please, we gotta go. It just goes to show even Hermione is into like
Time girl.
attractive men.
well, I mean, he does come off. When I first read Gilderoy Lockhart, I thought it was Jude Law.
And that's funny because Jude Law is Dumbledore.
Exactly. I was like, this is crazy.
Speaking of Dumbledore, so my dad and I stumbled upon a thing on TikTok, a conspiracy
Mhm.
Uh-oh.
that Dumbledore is a time traveling Ron.
Oh, I've seen that one. I remember that.
Not to me because it's like mind blowing to think about.
Yeah, because like Dumbledore, he isn't any, he doesn't have any like sort of like future whatever, you know.
Certification?
He's not the type. He's not the one. I forgot the word. But he doesn't have like that the one that he can like kind of see the future.
Mm.
Oh, he's not a seer?
That one. But he always knows what's going on with Harry. Always,
Right.
right? And just a bunch of things. And they were saying that what's his face Dumbledore had also like was also tall with a pointy nose and the orange hair when he was young, and he liked Bert's bees. No, it's Bert's bees. Bertie Blott's every flavored beans.
He really had some good lips.
Yeah,
That's
but
Grindelwald.
he said that he liked them when he was a child, but when he was a child, um, they didn't exist.
Well,
Like
there are time turners.
they didn't exist until he turned 50.
Okay, but see, another like thing kind of like that is that Minerva McGonagall is in the Fantastic Beasts series as a teacher when in canon she would be like 12, like at the time that the Fantastic Beasts series is taking place. So I think it might just be like them overlook, like J.K. Rowling just not planning correctly, um because I personally don't think that Ron is smart enough to be Dumbledore. Like, he's not a dumb person, but he's just not smart enough for the things that Dumbledore has done. Unless he
Do you
time
think?
travels the way that Delphi does,
Do you think?
which we haven't even
Do you think?
touched on.
Do you think that Dumbledore was smart from the get go?
I think Dumbledore was always a smart child, kind of the way that Hermione is. Because even as a young person, like his whole backstory that we get in the seventh book is, first off, he's gay.
Oh
Second
yeah.
off, he was already trying to lead a revolution. So he was always thinking ahead that way. And like eventually we'll get to that whole for the greater good thing, which I also think Ron has never had that for the greater good. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought when I first read it, I remember thinking it was a really interesting theory, but I don't think it really holds itself up very well. Um, Side note, did you guys hear that there's a Harry Potter show in the talks?
Oh my god, yes. It's like you sent it to me on Instagram.
It's because nobody answers. Nobody answered me. I thought that was so cool. I wanted to talk about that on the podcast because this is right now Harry Potter related. I'm really excited about that. Like, it's literally what we've been talking about for the last like million episodes we've done. I really hope that it goes through.
It's
That
gonna be
that
an
is that
HBO,
is
right?
it. I want to say yes, so it must be good. It better be good. If it's not good, I'm gonna be super mad. Because like the Percy Jackson one's gonna be really good. It better be good because they're doing like a whole show on like all the books. So like if it's not good, I'm gonna be so pissed off.
It better be
And I hear
good.
that the casting is really good too.
You know what
So
I'm excited about? The
yeah,
Barbie movie.
Oh my god,
dude.
yes.
Oh my god, I have been talking about it all day today.
I'm trying
I've
to
been
get a
talking about it
midnight
all day.
screening done of it so that way we can. Do you guys
Ooh.
want posters from the Barbie movie?
Yes.
Yes,
I'll
yes,
send you
yes,
posters from the Barbie movie.
yes. I want a poster of what's his name? Simu Liu? I don't know how to say
Simu
his name.
Liu.
I want a poster of him. I hear he's
Gotcha.
problematic. I don't know anything
Oh
about that.
no. The bug movie or
I just
show?
like him from Kim's Convenience. That was a good show. If
That's
y'all have
fair.
not watched Kim's Convenience, you should totally go watch that. Okay, anyway, back to the book. So, they basically went and asked Lockhart to give them a signed slip to go into the forbidden section in the library because they knew that if they played into his ego that he would do it, right? So,
Yeah.
Harry, Hermione, and Ron hurry to the library where they're given the book. They read about the painful and complicated steps to making a and using Polyjuice Potion. And by the end, Hermione is the only one interested in trying to make it, although she persuades the boys to join her. And I think this is really interesting because eventually this is going to become a really important potion for the trio and for the books. Like, this is a good seed that she planted, I think, in the first
Mhm.
two books. The Quidditch match between Gryffindor and Slytherin draws, and during Gryffindor's team pep talk, Oliver Wood reassures his team that while the Slytherins have better brooms, the Gryffindors have better people on their brooms. He then tells Harry to get the snitch or die trying. Oliver makes a fantastic point. It doesn't matter how good your broom is if you don't know how to use it.
How?
Take that however you will.
Oh, you mean it like sexual?
Spell it out for them.
Oh, now I get it. Oh, now I get it. Okay. All right. It's not the size of the wave, it's the motion of the ocean. I get it. I get it.
Sophie's face.
They're
What is
children.
wrong?
They're children.
The children that aren't listening to this. So anyway, the game soon begins, and as soon as Harry is circling through the air looking for the snitch, a bludger streaks towards him and continues to aim for him. Even after after being knocked away by Fred and George. While the two beaters are protecting Harry, the Slytherins are scoring goal after goal. And during the timeout talk, Harry requests that Fred and George return to the game, allowing him to fend against the rogue bludger for himself while he looks for the snitch. Malfoy, the Slytherin seeker, laughs at Harry and his twirling evasions of the bludger. And while he is laughing, Harry notices the snitch next to his face because Malfoy's a fucking idiot, and instead of doing his job, he's making fun of Harry for not having parents, like usual. Because that's like his only go to. The boy doesn't have any wit whatsoever. This is why he's not in Ravenclaw. Harry pauses, is whacked by the bludger, recovers quickly, and flies at Malfoy, grabbing the snitch and falling out of the sky. Harry wins the game but lands painfully, and he is greeted on the ground by Lockhart, who immediately says to repair his broken arm but makes a mistake and debones it. This scene in the movie is so disturbing.
Rakiam. Emendo. Ah, yes. Well, that can sometimes happen. But the point is, you can no longer feel any pain. And very clearly, the bones are not broken.
Broken? There's no bones left.
The like weird squelching noises that they make when they're like bending Harry's hand back and forth
Yeah.
is disgusting.
It's
Like,
gross.
it looks great. It's so gross.
It's so gross. It's so gross to think about. I mean, breaking of bones or any sort of injuries, like I can't. Even if I see it, I'm like, ugh. Like I can't. With the noises, it's worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's kind of like, I think it's really funny the way that Daniel Radcliffe acted that, where he was like, "It's okay, Professor, I can fix Harry's arm," and he was like, "No, no, not
No,
you."
please.
The terror in his face. He has never been more scared of someone than Gilderoy Lockhart throughout this entire series.
I'm dead.
Harry is sent to the hospital wing, where he must stay through the night, waiting for his arm to regrow itself through a lengthy and painful process. During the night, he is visited by Dobby, who explains that he had closed up the train platform and bewitched the bludger, both in hopes that Harry would give up and return home and away from Hogwarts, where his life would be threatened because the Chamber of Secrets has been opened again. Yeah, so like Dobby in this first book where we first meet him is so annoying.
Yeah.
He's annoying the entire time, but like he's extremely annoying here.
It's just so like he doesn't all he does is get in the way.
Yeah, not even in a good way. Like,
Not even in a good way.
um, Harry perks up the knowledge. Oh wait, Harry picks up the knowledge, wanting to know more from Dobby, but the house elf is adamant about saying nothing more, and soon footsteps sound in the corridor, and Dobby disappears. Dumbledore enters with Professor McGonagall, together carrying a stony figure that Harry recognizes as Colin Creevey, who has been petrified with his camera in front of his face. Dumbledore gravely reiterates what Dobby had said, that the Chamber of Secrets has been opened again. Also, Ron makes a point to say to Ginny that stuff like this, like the cat being petrified and stuff, doesn't happen often, and that he thinks that the maniac who did it will be expelled before they can even like remember. And this makes Ginny go pale and start sobbing because she's crying about the cat.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to look back on that later because
It's all
Ginny's
her
the one
fault.
that's doing it. Yeah, like it's Ginny who's doing it. So Ron trying to be a supportive brother is actually making her really stressed out. Okay, so chapter 11. Gab?
Chapter 11. The Dueling Club. Dueling. There we go.
When Harry awakes,
It's a nice time to say we are sponsored by Duolingo.
imagine we are not sponsored by Duolingo unless we are, in which case, thank you. And if we're not, then we do not like Duolingo.
Duolingo, come on. Like, come on. We're international in this fucking group. We've used
Yeah.
you. Sponsor
Yeah.
us. Like,
Yeah, sponsor us. What do you got to lose? Literally nothing. Just give us your
Nothing.
money.
Just put 500.
That would have been a good transition if we were sponsored by Duolingo.
dude, fuck. One day.
Someday, yeah. When Harry awakes from his night in the hospital wing, his arm is healed and he is eager to tell Ron and Hermione about Dobby and Colin. He runs into Percy, who looks exceptionally happy, and then Harry heads into Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, where he finds his friends. Ron and Hermione have spent the morning concocting the beginning of the Polyjuice potion. and they listen eagerly to the news about Dobby and the reopening of the Chamber of Secrets. Meanwhile, the entire school is all frightened about Colin, and Ginny is especially shaken up by the occurrence. And Neville Longbottom, a round and clumsy wizard. What? He has started carrying around protective charms since he acknowledges fearfully that he is almost a squib. I hate when Neville does this. Neville is not almost a squib. He is a full pure-blooded wizard. Like, this is a pure-blooded little boy who is just very bad at magic. That doesn't make him almost a squib. I feel so bad for him.
Well, he just his whole life sucks. Let's be honest. Poor Neville.
Yeah. Like, they made him feel so bad that he thinks that he has to protect himself because he's almost a squib when the Chamber of Secrets is targeting Muggle-born people. Absolutely terrible. In potions class, Harry distracts Snape by throwing a firecracker into a Slytherin cauldron, splashing and splashing swelling potion on the faces of many students, while Hermione sneaks out of the room to produce polyjuice ingredients from Snape's personal collection. When she returns with the ingredients inside her robes, the swollen faces are back to normal, and Snape is spitting with rage and looking straight at Harry as he threatens expulsion to the troublemaker. The first and only real time that Snape has any reason to be mad at Harry.
Yeah.
It's this one. Because Harry did this one on purpose. Aside from that, anytime that Snape is mad at Harry is so unreliable because he's just like mad at Harry perpetually.
You know what I think is funny? He's like, I'm already the villain in his book, so I might as well just toss this firecracker. What are you eating?
That's insensitive. I can't eat gluten.
That's Val, how dare you?
You also can't be in Korea right now. That's not insensitive. I just live my life, Sofhi.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna die if I don't go to Korea. I could get.
You could. You could. America is making it so that you can't get abortions. You could die.
Guys, so I got my plane ticket back.
From Korea.
I'm not gonna be able to see you, Gaby.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it was too far.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I'm leaving the 16th of June. And I got a airline called Premier Air, and it's like a new flight airline in Korea, and it's like has really good reviews. It's like budget luxury.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's my long flight is gonna be with that airline. I'm gonna stop at LAX for like 3 hours.
Cool.
Yeah, and then I'm going on Spirit.
Spirit.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was only $800.
Okay, have fun with that.
I might.
By yourself. All alone.
All alone.
With no one to watch you.
It's only 2 hours on Spirit.
Oh, that's not too bad. Still scary though, but a week later, Harry, Ron, and Hermione spy a poster advertising a new student dueling club, and they go to the meeting to learn to duel. It turns out that Lockhart is heading it. When he practices his first dueling match, Snape, his opponent, disarms him by crying out Expelliarmus. Important, because this is Harry's signature spell from now on. Harry heard Expelliarmus and never ever learned another spell. That was it.
Okay, but let's be so fucking real. Like, the way that he said Expelliarmus was, like, lit. And in fact, Mio's ring, like, text tone for her boyfriend is Snape saying, Expelliarmus! Like,
what?
Every time he texts her, that comes on. It's kind of funny.
How many
that's cool.
are you talked about right now?
This is the second one?
Okay, because, like, I took a tejocote and it's hitting me really bad right now. I'll be fast, I promise. But it hurts. Okay.
What's happening?
She took, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay, cool. So now that everyone's back, Lockhart quickly says that he deliberately allowed Snape to win that one, and he divides the students into pairs. In the movie, they kind of just throw Malfoy and Harry up onto a stage. In the books, everyone is practicing all of the spells, by the way. Not wanting to lose another duel, Hermione is matched up with a large Slytherin girl named Millicent, and Harry is matched up with Malfoy. The two boys attack each other with all sorts of body contorting charms, including a tickle spell and a leg jerking spell. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what those are. The two boys are brought to the front of the room to demonstrate for the entire club, and Snape whispers something to Malfoy, who immediately conjures an angry black snake from his wand. Lockhart tries to help, but instead makes the snake angrier and sends it for Justin Flint Fletchley. Without even thinking, Harry calls out to the snake to leave Justin alone. The snake falls into a docile heap on the floor. Harry is relieved, but the class is terrified. Only after class does he find out that Ron and Hermione that he spoke Parseltongue snake language, a feat for which Salazar Slytherin himself was famous for. Harry begins to question if, in fact, he could be the heir. Furthermore, he worries about the Sorting Hat decision to place him in Gryffindor, when to mention first that he would be good in Slytherin. The next day, Harry is restless and goes to find Justin to explain what had actually happened, but as he looks for him in the library, he is overheard by several helpful puffs, led by Ernie Macmillan, discussing the possibility that Harry was the heir to and that Voldemort had not succeeded in killing him, only because the infant Harry already had powerful dark powers protecting him. Harry speaks to the Hufflepuffs and asks for Justin, and they all react fearfully with accusations and that anger and annoy Harry. As Harry returns to his house, through the corridors, he runs to Hagrid, who is holding a dead chicken, and soon after, he trips over the stonehead figure of Justin Flint Finch Fletchley. I don't know how to say his name. It's hard. Lying near the airy, floating figure of a nearly headless Nick. Soon, Peeves the poltergeist sees the scene and cries out, alerting the students and teachers, all of whom quickly rush into the corridor. Many angry faces glare, accusing at Harry, and Professor McGonagall calls him to come with her. Together, they walk to Dumbledore's room. So, in the movies, Harry just finds like a dead body and nearly headless Nick, and nobody sees him. In the books, everyone sees every time that Harry finds a body, that's the end of chapter 11.
There, we did it.
How many chapters are in this book?
It's 18.
We're already on
Easy
13. Only 5 more.
We're on 12.
No, we're on 13.
The Polyjuice potion. We just read the Dueling Club.
Oh, okay, my dumbass.
It's okay, Gabby. I understood you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, go for it, Gab.
Chapter 12. Polyjuice potion.
Is he actually listening?
Who?
Yeah.
Hi, Dad.
He's still on the second episode, but
Hi,
listening.
Dad.
If you ever get to this episode,
Hi, Dad.
if you have, I hope you didn't listen to the It Ends With Us episodes.
No, don't listen to those, Dad. Dad,
don't listen. Yeah, don't listen to those, please.
Dad, don't listen to Sofhi. Go tell your dad right now not to listen to that one.
Yeah, don't listen to those. No, she's gonna be like, okay, then I'm definitely listening to those.
No, Dad, no. Dad, no.
So, chapter 12. As frightened as Harry feels as he is brought to speak with Dumbledore, he still is deeply impressed by Dumbledore's office. He spies the Sorting Hat, and while waiting for Dumbledore to emerge from the back room, he tries it on. The hat repeats what it told him last year, that he would have done well in Slytherin despite desperate Harry tears the hat off his head. His attention falls next on a sickly bird perched near the door. Before he can observe for long, the bird bursts into flames and is gone. Harry yells, and a moment later is reassured by Dumbledore that the bird fox is a phoenix, and the time had come for his burning and rebirth. During this explanation, Dumbledore also mentions that phoenixes are excellent pets because they are faithful, can carry heavy loads, and can heal injuries with tears. At this moment, Hagrid bursts into the room proclaiming Harry's innocence, and Dumbledore impatiently informs Hagrid that he does not think Harry is responsible for petrifying the students. Hagrid leaves, and Dumbledore then asks Harry if there's anything that Harry wants to tell him. Harry considers all of the things currently pressing on his mind and answers no. Harry, you fucking idiot. Tell him you hear voices.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia.
Honestly, though, like, even if it is, I would just want to know.
I feel like he's just scared to be diagnosed with, like, what is it? What's the one that you hear voices?
Schizophrenia.
Yeah, he's a schizophrenic. Poor Harry.
Oh.
Poor
The
Harry.
school is still frightened about the air. Fred and George humor the situation by walking in front of Harry in the halls, calling out, "Make way for the heir of Slytherin, seriously evil wizard coming through." Harry appreciates this humor because it reassures him that at least the twins think the idea of him being the heir is laughable. Because it is. But I love the twins for this. Like, that is so funny. Could you imagine? Like, they're like these 14-year-olds walking in front of a 12-year-old yelling, "Look at this seriously evil wizard, guys." They're so funny. I love them.
They are pretty great. I'll admit it.
I love them.
I'll
Soon
admit.
the term ends. Oh, here's Christmas. And on Christmas Day, Ron, Harry, and Hermione open their presents and plan for their Polyjuice Potion adventure later that night. So this year, nobody goes home for Christmas. The feast is exquisite as always, and afterwards Hermione instructs Harry and Ron to leave 2 sleeping potion-filled cakes in easy places for Malfoy's large hunky friends, Crabbe and Goyle, to find, and then to hide them in a closet and pluck out a few of their hairs to add to their potion. Ron and Harry do this, and within minutes the cakes have been eaten, the sleeping bodies hidden, and the hairs plucked. Soon they are back in the bathroom with Hermione. Hermione already has her hair. Turns out, because the day she was paired with duel with Millicent, one of the hairs of the large Slytherin girl wound up on Hermione's robes. The 3 friends add their hairs to their respective potions and drink them. Soon Harry is a replica of Goyle, Ron of Crabbe, and Hermione refuses to come out of her stall, so Harry and Ron set up alone. I just want to say, so Hermione has a hair of Millicent, right? But Crabbe and Goyle have been knocked out and put in a closet, so we know that they're not going to walk in while Harry and Ron look like Crabbe and Goyle. But
Yeah.
Millicent has not been knocked out. So what if like Hermione is standing there like Millicent and then Millicent walks in?
Well, good thing she didn't end up turning into Millicent.
Right. It's just that is surprisingly something that she didn't think of. And Hermione's so smart.
Hermione, fucking Hermione.
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 I like how we all my first graders, I went to school with my hair curly. They were like, "Miss Vale, your hair's curly." And I was like, "Really? You look like Hermione Granger." And I was like, "I told you."
I've been saying.
It's because I have a girl in the class who we have this thing called like class dojo, and they get like points and monsters. And she's like, "I want my monster to be named Hermione Granger." So whenever Hermione Granger comes up to answer a question, she answers. It's super funny. But basically, I was like, "Yeah, no, like, yeah, when I was a kid, or like people always called me Hermione and all that stuff, and I dressed up like Hermione constantly." So now they finally believe me.
Oh, Val.
It's funny. It has preceded me. Anyway, unfortunately, they don't know where the Slytherin common room is, so they wander around accidentally asking a Ravenclaw girl, and suddenly they run into Percy, who is emerging from a side room. They regard him warily, and he regards them back just as warily. And finally, Ron and Harry are saved by the approach of Malfoy. Malfoy leads them through the corridors to a black stone wall, whose password is Pure Blood, which opens into Slytherin common room. Malfoy is pleased with himself for obtaining a copy of the Daily Prophet, a wizard newspaper, and he shows Ron and Harry an article about Ron's father being fined for bewitching a muggle car. Ron is furious but tries to conceal it. Malfoy then speaks of the last attack of the air and how a girl was killed, and then how he hopes that this time Hermione will be killed. Then he says wistfully that he wishes he knew who the heir was so that he could help him, and finally he reveals information about the hidden chamber under his family's drawing room floor in which dark wizarding paraphernalia is kept. This little boy is so scary. The fact that he's like, I hope that they kill Hermione.
He wants her so bad. That's what that is. He wants her so bad.
I love that both of you went there. Ron and Harry are a blank audience to all of this, but Malfoy doesn't seem to notice that they are any slower than the real Crabbe and Goyle. After some time, the spell begins to end, and Ron and Harry dash out of the room and back to Hermione, who is still in a stall. Moaning Myrtle is in delighted humor, and the reason turns out to be because the hair in the potion turned Hermione into a cat. Ron and Harry persuade her to go to the hospital wing, while Myrtle gloats in the toilet.
Oh,
What an
Myrtle.
idiot.
Oh, Myrtle.
Yeah, so that is chapter 12.
Chapter 12.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting because I feel like this book, I think we said this in the other podcast we did, but This book, I feel like, is very slow, and then all of a sudden just goes from like 0 to 100, like super fast. Like nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden people are dying, and they're in the Chamber of Secrets and all that. What happened?
What happened?
Okay. Anyway, so chapter 13.
Okay, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. There's problems happening at work. Anyways,
Oh no.
chapter 13, The Very Secret Diary. Ooh.
The aforementioned diary that we talked about last time.
Damn.
On the way back from visiting Hermione, who is in the hospital wing recovering from her cat state, Harry and Ron hear Filch yelling at someone. That is so good, Sophie. My joke was going to be that she's a cat girl and that Ron was never the same after this incident.
Let me just check what catatonic means. I just know it's a medical term.
You look so proud of yourself.
Relating to or characterized by catatonia.
Amazing.
Oh, it's kind of true. Okay, a
Yeah.
behavioral syndrome marked by an inability to move normally.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why I said that was really good. And Ron hear Filch yelling at someone, and they round the corner to see a flood of water seeping out of Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. The boys step inside to look around, and they immediately spy a diary bobbing in the toilet. They examine it and see the name T.M. Riddle. I don't know why that sounds funny. Written on the first page, but the rest of the pages are blank. Ron recalls the name for his trophy polishing demonstration as the boy who was rewarded for special services to the school 50 years ago. Harry feels a strange familiarity to the name, so he pockets the diary. They show it to Hermione when she is fully cured. She concludes that Riddle, who was commended 50 years before, must have caught the heir of Slytherin, who had opened the Chamber of Secrets 50 years earlier. She tried to make words appear on the pages with no success. At the beginning of February, the school is calmer. Nobody else has been attacked, and the mandrakes are becoming moody and secretive, in other words, entering adolescence, and soon will be ready to be made into an elixir. So we never really get this in the movies, but in the books, basically the mandrakes go from babies to teenagers in their pots. So these are like little Groots.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like they're like moodily listening to music.
Is Groot a mandrake?
Ooh. Plot twist.
Plot twist.
Oh, here's Valentine's. At the beginning of February, the school's calmer. Lockhart believes that he had an immediate. I read that so wrong. Lockhart believed that he had intimidated the monster into hiding. And by Valentine's Day, he was in such a cheerful mood that he decorated the Great Hall in pink and organized a troop of dwarves to deliver Valentines.
Aww.
The dwarves were not quite so cheerful, however, and an embarrassing encounter occurs when a dwarf had to kick through the masses, knocking Harry's bag out of his hands, and ultimately sits on Harry's ankles in order to deliver him a singing Valentine.
Oh my god.
Sent, we are fairly certain, by a nearby blushing Ginny Weasley. Gabby, do you want to read that? The Valentine?
Oh my god. You know what? Fine, I'll do it. Poor Ginny. My girl Ginny.
It's the size of my head.
Mm-hmm.
What page is it on?
Mm-hmm. I have a phone book.
Okay, I found it. Alright. Here's your singing Valentine. His eyes are green as a fresh pickled toad. His hair is as dark as a blackboard. I wish he was mine. He's really divine, the hero who conquered the Dark Lord.
Okay, now it's my turn to speak.
She's not done.
That's it. What? It's not?
It's longer.
What? Okay, sorry.
It's not.
Isn't it? Isn't it like a whole song?
Okay, wait. If there's more on the nope.
Okay, I could have sworn there was more. Okay, go for it, Soph.
Okay, so everybody calls Voldemort you know who, right? Or right? Anybody?
Right.
And then anybody who is a follower of his, what do they call him?
The Dark Lord.
Right? So isn't it weird that Ginny called him... I mean, no, it's not weird, because we know what's going on. But isn't it weird that Ginny called him the Dark Lord?
Leave Ginny out of this.
Well,
She's
right
12.
now-
She's 11.
Right now it's fitting.
She's possessed, yeah.
Yeah, she's possessed.
Why am I crying?
Why am I crying right now?
That's so sad. You know, Sophie, that actually might be a really good catch on your part. Like, it's a very clear indication
That's because Sophie's
of
a
Ginny being
badass
possessed.
bitch.
Badass bitch.
See, Sofhi can read.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes.
I'm just saying, this is proof.
When I
Proof.
decide.
Yeah. The dwarves. Oh, wait. Once Harry had gathered his things and left the laughing crowds, he notices that all of his belongings are covered in his spilled red ink, all except Riddle's diary. This puzzles Harry, and he retires to bed early that evening and pages through the diary. He writes his name on a page and watches it disappear, and suddenly the ink rises up again, forming the words, "Hello, Harry Potter. My name is Tom Riddle. How did you come by my diary?" This begins a dialogue between the two boys with oddly similar appearances and pasts, separated by 50 years and connected through the secret Diary. Riddle writes that he was in fact awarded the medal for catching the person who had opened the Chamber of Secrets and invites Harry to visit the memory. Harry agrees, and within seconds, he is blown into the page of the diary in the headmaster's room. Here, he witnesses a conversation between Riddle and the then headmaster, in which Riddle's request to remain at school for the summer holidays is turned down because of the recent dangers of the open Chamber of Secrets. Harry then follows Riddle through the corridors, once running into a younger auburn haired Dumbledore who warns Riddle to head back to his dormitory. Riddle and Harry wait in the dungeons for a long time, and finally they hear and follow nearby footsteps. The footsteps belong to a younger Hagrid, who is trying to conceal something inside of a box. Riddle explains that he must turn Hagrid in for possessing the guilty monster, and Hagrid argues vehemently that the animal inside the box, I don't know if I said that word right, box is
Vehemently?
innocent. I don't know how to say it.
You good.
I have always said it vehemently.
No, yeah, you're good. You're fine. You can say it either way.
Okay, well, if not, I'm sure someone will tell me. Riddle pulls out his wand, casting open the box and releasing a giant, hairy spider that scuttles over him and out through the corridor. Harry is whirled back into real time, back into his dormitory, and he begins to tell Ron what he saw. That is the end of chapter 13.
Oh, this is like, I hated this scene because Hagrid got in trouble.
Oh, yeah. And I keep wanting to say this, but I don't know when the right time is. So maybe.
Just say it. There's never gonna be a
No,
right
I
time to
think.
say it.
No. It's because I think that there might be a better time to talk about this, like a better chapter.
Well, okay. Okay. I'm starting to get ready, but keep talking.
Chapter 14. Gabby's not here to read the chapter title.
Damn.
She's back.
I'm back to read the chapter title. Chapter 14. Cornelius Fudge.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione spend endless conversations discussing Harry's jaunt into the diary and the possibility that Hagrid could be the culprit. The three students debate asking him, but decide against it, at least until another attack occurred. Meanwhile, the school continues. The mandrakes are still maturing. Once delighted Professor Sprout by throwing a wild party in their greenhouse, and the Hogwarts second year students are busy choosing their classes for the following year. So, like I said, the mandrakes are literally aging like actual children. So now they're teenagers who threw like a party. I know, I thought it was hilarious. The Hogwarts second year students are busy choosing their classes for the following year. Ron and Harry sign up for the same few classes, while Hermione signs up for everything offered. They are surprisingly normal during this time, and soon the Hufflepuff Gryffindor Quidditch match draws apace. The evening before the big game, Harry is startled to find that his dormitory room has been broken into. His things torn, broken, and rearranged, and Riddle's diary taken. He and Hermione are alarmed to conclude that a Gryffindor must have done it, as nobody else knows the house password. The morning of the match, Harry hears the hissing, disembodied voice again, and Hermione leaps up and dashes to the library. This is the same mistake that everyone makes in horror movies. Never split up. But here they are, splitting up.
I got another high. Look. Here, the shiny part.
Harry heads out to the Quidditch pitch, and no sooner than he has taken his position, does Professor McGonagall step into the field and stop the game, instructing all students to return to their houses. Harry and all the students return to the house. And Ron follow her to the hospital wing, where they find Hermione and a Ravenclaw prefect named Penelope Clearwater petrified, with a small hand mirror lying next to them. The students are all told to remain in the house common rooms from 6 p.m. on and always to be escorted by teachers to and from classes. Professor McGonagall adds that the school will be likely closed down unless the attacks are halted. Ron and Harry decide that this is a moment to visit Hagrid because of the strict rules about wandering around unchaperoned, they decide to do this underneath Harry's invisibility cloak, a gift left to him by his father, which we know. I don't know why they have to reiterate every 5 minutes.
For
The
plot.
boys, I guess. The boys set out late that night, and as soon as they enter Hagrid's small wooden cabin, they hear a knock at the door and hide invisibly in a corner. Dumbledore enters with a man Ron immediately recognizes Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic. Fudge explains apologetically to Hagrid that in light of the present circumstances, he must ask him to leave Hogwarts and reside in Azkaban, a frightful wizard prison, until the events stop or are solved. Dumbledore states calmly that he trusts Hagrid entirely, but Fudge says that he must act or else the Ministry will think he is doing nothing to stop the attacks, and since Hagrid's history is muddled with rumors about the Chamber of Secrets, he should be the first target. While this is being discussed, the door opens and Lucius, I don't know, Malfoy enters, explaining icily that the 12 school governors have signed a petition calling for Dumbledore to step down as headmaster. Dumbledore consents without argument, saying that these portentous words, saying only these pretentious words, you will find that I will only truly have left the school when none that are here loyal to me. You will also find that help will always be giving at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. Hagrid leaves more reluctantly, calling out behind him two instructions heard by Harry and Ron to follow. To follow the spiders, to find the culprit, and to feed Fang, his dog. And that is the end of chapter 14.
I've returned.
Hello.
I thought you were wearing a turtleneck, and I was like, girl, dude, it's
Girl!
been raining hard here.
I don't know why my hand's raised. Okay, what am I reading? This one's a little tough. Chapter 15. Aragog.
Aragog.
This is a
Aragog.
left-handed mug.
Aragon.
Weird. Spring continues its sweeping through Hogwarts, but even the loneliness outside the castle cannot take Harry's mind off of the terror inside of it. He ponders Hagrid's advice regarding the spiders and Dumbledore about the help and loyalty, but he is not sure how to proceed with either. Malfoy, meanwhile, seems delighted by the state of things. He boasts that his father has finally gotten Dumbledore out and suggests that Snape applies to be the new headmaster. The fact that Lucius Malfoy is the head of, like, the PTA moms,
He's a Karen. He's a Karen.
it's so funny. Like, he is the board, like, he's the mom that comes up to you and is like, my child, my beautiful little child, didn't do anything wrong.
My son? No,
He's a-
not Timothy.
Yeah, he's a boy mom.
Not Timothy. He is a boy mom. What the fuck? That's really well put. In herbology class, Ernie Macmillan apologizes for having suspected Harry, since after the attacks on Hermione, he now knows that Harry would not have been responsible for hurting a good friend. Harry accepts the apology, and minutes later during the same class, he spies a line of spiders moving towards the Forbidden Forest. He whacks Ron with his pruning spears, and Ron looks doubtfully at the prospect of following them. They head next to Lockhart's defense against the Dark Arts class, during which a confident Lockhart gleefully waxes on about the safe state of the school now that Hagrid has been removed. Ron and Harry are extremely annoyed, and after the joint events of the Lockhart accusation of Hagrid combined with a glance of Hermione's empty seat, the two agree to follow the spiders that very night. Beneath the invisibility cloak, Ron and Harry set out in a forest with Fang scampering nearby. They soon spy a few solitary spiders scuttling deep in the forest away from the path, and so they follow them for a long time. Eventually, they hear something large moving behind the trees. They are greatly relieved to see that it's Ron's once flying car, the Ford Anglia, that hit the Whomping Willow and now is running wild in the Forbidden Forest. The boys laugh at their initial fright and prepare to continue when they and Fang are met and captured by a trio of clicking, horse-sized spiders. Ron, who fears spiders above all else, is speechless with fear, and Harry himself is terrified as well.
Spiders aren't that bad. I just don't like when they're like big and like black. Like black widows freak the fuck out of me.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, they're deadly.
Exactly, but like a daddy long leg, I'm like, you're chilling, bro. Like you're cool.
I am also scared of those.
Of course.
I do not like spiders. Not like Ron, but I don't like spiders. And like horse-sized spiders.
Dude, speaking of spiders and bugs, so yesterday I was in my ceramics lab and we were making a little like house for a project that we're making that we're gonna donate to our local Boys and Girls Club.
Mhm.
And my friend, she had a fake cockroach, And we have in my ceramics class. There's only three guys. One who identifies as all of the genders, and then two just like cis men. And the two men, or the two guys in my class, they're terrified of
Real quick, for people listening who might think that it's offensive to refer to Jake, well, to him as a guy, he does not care. He is not
He's
call
all
me. Yeah, he is he's literally all genders. We have had this conversation.
Yeah. So, but they're all masculine, at least presenting. But they're all the two like straight regular cis men. They're terrified of bugs. So like we would put the cockroach around them and be like, oh. And then our professor BLC, she was saying that she woke up yesterday morning to a cockroach just scurrying across her face, and she's a pacifist like to the max, right? Like lover
She
of
wouldn't
all
hurt a
animals.
fly.
Not even a fly, not even a cockroach. But
Yeah.
in that moment, she was like, I was about to start swinging. Like,
That is so scary.
I know.
Val went into shock. She's like in shock.
That sounds terrifying. I hate the idea of that. The spiders carry them into a clearing with a giant domed web, where they are met with an elderly blind spider, Aragog, who first dismisses Ron and Harry to be killed, but then speaks with them when they claim to have been sent by Hagrid. The boys learn from Aragog that the school thought that he was the monster within the chamber, but really he had been given to Hagrid as an egg and raised in captivity.
Aww.
They also learn that the monsters in the chamber is a creature most feared by spiders, and because of that, its name is not spoken.
The basilisk, right?
Correct. They learn finally that the creature's victims was found in a toilet, and that soon after the event, Hagrid was set Aragog free in the forest. After informing them of this, Aragog instructs his children to eat the humans and the dog.
Oh no.
For a moment, Harry and Ron know that they are doomed. Then all of a sudden, they hear the horn and see the Weasley's car rumbling over to them. Panicked, they open the... I know, it's kind of like just out of nowhere.
It's so Indiana Jones, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Panicked, they open the door, shove in Fang and themselves, and flee the forbidden forest. Once they say goodbye to the car and head back up the dormitory, feeling discouraged at having found no clues, only once Harry is back up in his bed to see it occur to him that the girl found in the bathroom 50 years back could be Moaning Myrtle. And that is the end of chapter 15.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. There's 3 chapters left, and I feel like nothing has happened.
Nothing has. They're just kind of walking around. They're perusing.
This one just feels like build up to the next one.
It is. This is a filler book. Like 100%, this is 100% a filler book. This is a super important book, though. And that's the problem. Because this diary is a Horcrux. And it's the first Horcrux aside from the last one. Because I remember Sofhi doesn't know what the other Horcrux is, so I don't want to say what it is. But we already know 2 Horcruxes at this moment.
Yeah.
We have seen 2. And this is the first big one.
What's the other one? What's the other one we saw?
I'm not telling you.
But you said we've seen them.
But I'm not telling you what it is.
Oh, it's a diary, no?
One of them is the diary, yeah. Because if you don't remember, I want to get through the books and then you be like, oh, it was this.
Well, I mean, it's the diary and also Harry. That's 2.
Why do you remember all of a sudden?
Why didn't you know that?
Because like last time we talked about this, you did not remember that.
Well, I know. There was another one.
No, there's 2. Just 2.
Harry's been a Horcrux. Where have you been?
I've known.
Val, how dare
You
you not
hadn't.
know about? Just blame it on Val. She knew the whole time and be like, Val, you had no idea.
Oh my lord.
She didn't. She's just projecting.
Okay, chapter 16.
My makeup looks so cakey today, but I know that it's just because I switched to a moisturizing primer. It doesn't look that great. Okay.
Flop.
Wop. Okay. All right. Chapter 16. The Chamber of Secrets. Oh.
Scary.
Val stopped laughing at my intros. Now
I'm not laughing. I'm yawning. It's late here. It's midnight.
Oh, that's not even late.
It is late for me, Sofhi. I just got home from taking care of like 34 kids.
You decided to do that.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it's not tiring.
attacking you, okay?
Sofhi's attacking me.
I am attacking her.
See?
Why are you attacking her?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
Quiere llorar, quiere
I
llorar.
do sometimes.
Oh, stop it! It's not serious.
I am.
Sis, it's not that deep. I'm
It is not. It is not.
So, Ron and Harry speculate about ways to enter Moaning Myrtle's bathroom and question her about the death. This is right after them not having any clues, and now they suddenly know about Moaning Myrtle, by the way. With no good ideas, they head to class only to be informed by Professor McGonagall that exams would take place in a week.
Damn.
Nobody has studied, of course, so everybody is in an uproar. 3 days before the first exam, Professor McGonagall announces that the mandrakes are ready to be cut and used to restore the petrified victims. Everybody is delighted, and in the midst of the cheering, a very nervous-looking Ginny Weasley seats herself near Harry and Ron.
Ooh.
Harry asks her if she wants to tell them anything, and Ginny nods, only to be interrupted by Percy, who takes her seat. Ah, fucking Percy. I hate Percy. Fuck Percy. Percy can go fuck himself, in fact.
He's in the wrong book. Mance is a demigod.
Sofhi?
This Percy sucks. Ron is outraged by this and declares to Percy that Ginny may have known important information about the Chamber of Secrets, and Percy blushes, saying that what she was going to tell them was not about the chamber, but about something she had seen him doing. He refused to carry the subject further. Later that day, that sounds so suspicious, though.
It sounds kind of like he was doing something naughty.
Yep. Exactly what I told him to go do. That's what it sounds like.
Right? Come on, whatever.
Later that day, Lockhart is escorting his students through the corridors and complaining about the extra precautions taken. And Harry and Ron agree and kindly suggest that he leave them to escort themselves to the next class. Lockhart is pleased and leaves, and Harry and Ron dash towards Myrtle's bathroom, only to run into Professor McGonagall. They lie that they were going to visit Hermione, and miraculously she lets them go. Not wanting to get caught in the lie, the boys trudge to the infirmary and find, clasped in Hermione's hand, a piece of paper that, once wrenched out, displays a paragraph of information about the basilisk that fits right in with all of the eerie things that have happened. It lives for hundreds of years, speaks in parcel tongue, and so could be the voice Harry hears. Kills with its stare, is the enemy of spiders, and is killed by the crow of roosters. Underneath this information, Hermione has written pipes, and Harry and Ron realize she means the pipes in Myrtle's bathroom.
Ooh.
This is where it starts picking
Sofhi,
up.
you have something to say?
Which is?
Oh, is Nagini the basilisk?
No. Nagini's just a snake.
Cool. Just asking.
The basilisk is enormous, remember? Nagini is a regular-sized snake.
Honestly, I don't remember.
The basilisk is literally it's like Leviathan.
Leviathan, that's a good
It's
word.
an Alaskan bullworm.
It's an
Yeah.
Alaskan
Yes.
bullworm.
That's right. That's exactly what it is, Sofhi. Case closed. We do not need to read the rest of this book. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
You're welcome.
It's been real, you guys. It's been so real.
Your eyeliner looks good, Gab.
Really? It's even? Because doing it on this, shitty little mirror is,
That's difficult.
Because look how dirty it is.
Oh, no.
Really quick, sorry. So yesterday, I brought Danielle over to make whistles because I'm taking her to the beach to fire whistles with my class.
Uh-huh.
And she walks in and she kind of we were in time crunch, so we just sat down on the floor. She just said hi, sat down, and then she was like, "Dude, I don't know if it's because I haven't heard your mom talk in a really long time, but she sounds older." And I was like, "That's my grandma."
Brother, ain't no way.
Oh my god.
She just walked past the foyer.
That's so funny. The boys dash to the staff room to show their findings to McGonagall, only to hear an announcement that another attack has occurred and teachers must report to the staff room immediately. Which I was about to say immediately,
Immediately.
hiding behind. Huh?
Gaby didn't get the reference.
I did get the reference. I just didn't.
What's the reference?
That's what I thought. It's from Mean Girls.
Okay, fine. I didn't get the reference.
I wasn't gonna call you out for it. Sofhi did. Oh look at my new
That is so
phone
cute.
case.
Dude, he's a
This is
squirrel?
I know. I was so confused.
Bro, the biggest
How is it like
catfish of the century.
No,
how is
but
the
like,
nose?
but like what? Because it's a horse mask, Val. Have you never worn a horse mask or seen one?
But do you not see that when he takes it off, it's floppy and doesn't have like structure?
Yeah, neither does a horse mask.
Yes, it does. It has
No,
some structure.
it's floppy. Anyways,
No.
because think about it. Okay, right? She's a Mong is a woman, girl.
I don't know.
She's a
People say he
squirrel,
and she, so maybe
but
Mung
also
is either.
Chimmy isn't a dog.
That's true. Chimmy's not a dog. But what the fuck is Chimmy? He's just a bald head.
He looks like an otter, maybe.
Oh, that
I
would make
guess.
sense.
He's a puppy.
Does that mean that Koya's not actually a koala?
No,
Because his ears fall off.
No, Koya's a koala, but that's just like his quirk.
He's quirky.
He's a koala, and Chimmy's a fucking puppy. He's a puppy.
But
Did y'all listen to Yoongi's song, by the way?
No, I haven't.
I haven't yet either.
I haven't
But
either.
the BTS teacher that's in my school, she sent me pictures. She's like, I need to send you this so that you can cry with me. She sent it to me during school. I almost fell out of my chair.
Bro.
I was freaking out about it. It did make me want to cry because it had like parts of the lyrics, and I was like,
We're on the last chapter, right?
almost.
Okay.
You have two more.
Yeah. Anyway, so the boys dash to the staff room to show their findings. Oh, wait. Hiding behind a row of robes, Harry and Ron listened to the staff meeting and learned that Ginny Weasley had been taken into the Chamber of Secrets, and that written on the walls were the words, "Her skeleton will lie in the chamber forever." McGonagall then announces that the school will be closed. The students at home the following morning, and at this point, Lockhart enters the meeting, and all the teachers turn on him, challenging him to take on the monster by himself since he is so boastful that he knows how. Lockhart titters nervously and leaves the room, and soon Harry and Ron walk into his office to help him by telling him what they know of the monster and the pipes, and they find him in his office packing his bags. An exchange follows in which Lockhart confides that he has never fought a dark arts creature before in his life, but rather he has interviewed the people who did the things he claimed to do, then erased their memory of the encounter before writing up their adventures as his own. He then prepares to erase Ron and Harry's memories, but Harry yells, "Expelliarmus!" as he learned to do so in the dueling club, and then he never looked back.
Damn.
And Lockhart's wand flies into Harry's hand. Together, he and Ron push Lockhart into Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, where they question her about her death, which was in fact caused by a pair of large yellow eyes, where Harry spies a small snake carved onto the tap on the sink. Speaking Parseltongue, Harry tells the tap to open, and it does, revealing a large pipe into which Harry, Ron, and a reluctant Lockhart descended. Inside the pipes, the three come upon a giant snakeskin. As they examine it, Lockhart snatches Ron's wand and tries to destroy the boys' memories, but Ron's wand backfires and destroys Lockhart's own memories, also causing an avalanche of rocks to fall, creating a solid barrier, keeping Ron and Lockhart on the close to home side, and Harry on the other side. Harry calls to Ron to try to make a hole in the wall, while he himself trudges on alone through the tunnels. Finally, he comes up upon a wall engraved with glittering serpents. Harry instructs it to open, and he enters.
Damn.
That is the end of chapter 16.
Bro.
Glitter.
Finally, we're getting to the good stuff.
And there's only 2 chapters left. Yep.
Chapter 17. The Heir of Slytherin.
Harry,
Harry?
why did you sound Australian?
It's because so this weekend I went to the Mana concert, and my friend Esmer has her Siri as an Australian male.
Mhm.
So it'd be like, go to the carport, carport, and then it's like turn left into the carport.
Airport.
Cool.
I'm not going to the airport. Dude, that TikTok of mine has like 2,000 views.
Why is there
Oh,
pasta
so cute.
in the dog bowl?
What?
That's like how you can nail the Aussie accent. It gets all the vowels in your mouth. Why is there pasta in the dog bowl?
Have you guys seen there's some dude who was like, oh, actually I have it. So the BTS teacher, she also likes to do an accent, like an Australian accent.
Australian, and I ordered a bad tuna sandwich. One tuna sandwich? Oh no. Oh no. The tuna looks peculiar. The tuna is peculiar? The tuna looks peculiar, and there's no heirloom tomato. Can I get you a new tuna? No, I'll just have an avocado
Val, I have
toast.
to tell
This is
you
me
something.
Australian,
Mm.
and
Okay. I'm just gonna say it, all right? This just as a saying. You're telling me my son dried these tomatoes?
What?
Like sun-dried tomatoes?
Yeah.
You're telling me my son dried these tomatoes?
Oh my god.
Next time you're at the grocery store, you're telling me my son dried these?
Turns out, apparently, he's very talented, I hear.
Damn.
But she sent me this on Instagram and I couldn't stop laughing. I was, because like,
And she said
sometimes,
fun.
no, she is. Like, sometimes we'll be walking in class and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go. These kids are doing this. And she goes, oh no.
Oh no.
It's so
What's her
funny.
name?
Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
I should probably not listen.
I know, but just in case.
This isn't a BTS podcast. She would be listening if this was a BTS podcast.
Oh,
Tell her
we
that
talked
we
She's
about
found
going.
her.
She's going to the Chicago concert.
Oh,
Of course.
dude.
Oh my god.
Lucky.
Ask her to bring us back merch. I'll pay her.
No,
Why not?
I don't know. That's
It's the same thing that we're doing with Ariana.
why not? I'll pay her.
I will. Ask her money.
I'll see if she will. But
It's August
regardless,
man.
it is. So chapter 17. Did you read the chapter title?
I did.
Okay.
That's
Harry
why we went
enters
off
the
on
snake.
Australian.
Oh. Harry enters a snake statue-lined chamber of secrets and approaches an enormous stone figure of Salazar Slytherin, at whose feet lies the still small figure of Ginny Weasley. Harry runs to her and examines her, and while he is doing this, he notices the misty, shadowy figure of Tom Riddle standing nearby. Harry desperately asks Tom to help him rescue Ginny and escape the Chamber of Secrets, but Tom remains where he is, speaking in a soft voice, unconcerned about the situation. At one point, he captures Harry's wand, slightly alarming Harry, but more than anything else, rendering him more impatient to get himself and Ginny out of the way of the hidden basilisk. Harry finally asks Tom how Ginny got to be in her present state, and Tom smiles broadly and begins to speak. Before we go on, this is the chapter I was waiting for. This is half of Voldemort's soul that Harry is dealing with right now.
The diary?
Yes, there is half of Voldemort's soul. This is the first time that he killed, the first time that he split his soul, which means it was split directly in half.
So
That means
he killed
that
Myrtle
Harry... Yeah?
for half of his soul.
What do you
Isn't
mean?
Harry like an eighth of his soul or something?
Yes. That's what I was getting at. That basically means that Harry fought more of Voldemort as a 12-year-old than he did as a 17-year-old. That's crazy.
Dude.
A 12-year-old beat half of Voldemort.
Dude.
I mean, a baby beat the full Voldemort.
No, he really didn't. He technically did not, but we'll talk about that. He tells how Ginny found his diary and poured all of her worries about Hogwarts and her crushes on Harry into it, and how Tom wrote back, comforting her through his dialogue. Tom grew stronger and ultimately poured a little of his soul into Ginny, manipulating her to kill Hagrid's roosters and open the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh,
Inside of the diary.
because the basilisk, the rooster's crow is
Fatal.
yeah.
Yep.
I'd be like, I'll pull a Peter Pan.
He'd be like, bok bok, bitch.
Back, bitch.
I'll pull a Peter Pan.
You don't know what I'm talking about. You didn't get the reference.
Bok bok, bitch.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy
Oh,
Rich
yes.
Asians. Dude, I should have done that
Aquafina.
slot machine more when we were in Vegas.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
We gotta go
I
back
miss
to
it.
Vegas.
We will.
We might for Christmas.
We will? What? Who said
Mom
that?
and Dad were talking about me maybe going to Vegas for Christmas instead of going all the way to the Valley.
Dude.
Dude,
Can I
super
mean you guys
down.
there?
Dude,
I mean, yeah, Vegas is a free
My Vegas
state.
again.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Anyway.
put my slots on. Well, in the meantime, I guess.
Inside the diary, Tom explained he had captured his 16-year-old self so that one day he could lead another to finish the work begun by Slytherin himself. Harry got hold of the diary, delighting Tom, and when Ginny broke into Harry's dorm and stole it back, he had already put so much of herself into the diary that Tom could persuade her to write her own farewell. Come down into the chamber and allow Tom to leave the pages at last. Tom then begins to question Harry about Voldemort, and Harry grows suspicious and more impatient. Tom then traces the letters of his name, Tom Marvolo Riddle, in the air, and rearranges them to read, I am Lord Voldemort, proclaim himself the greatest wizard in the world. Funnily enough, fun fact for all of the people listening, Tom Riddle's middle name in French is Elvis.
Elvis!
Love that. Harry argues with the statement, declaring that Dumbledore is a great wizard, and Tom grows angry. Suddenly, a strange singing bird appears, and Harry soon recognizes it as Fox, Dumbledore's pet phoenix, carrying in his beak the school sorting hat. Tom begins to laugh at the weapons sent by Dumbledore, and he commands Harry to explain how he survived his attack 11 years before. Harry angrily answers that it was because his mother died to save him, and Tom's smile widens at the thought that there is nothing genuinely special about Harry. He proceeds to point out certain odd similarities between them in other regions, childhood and appearance, and then he challenges Harry to a duel. Tom hisses for the basilisk to emerge from its chamber, and Harry closes his eyes and feels Fawkes leave his shoulder. He hears a great weight, slithering noise, and he begins to run, fearing for his life. From above him, he hears a great splitting sound among all the hissing, and he squints open his eyes only to catch sight of Fawkes puncturing the basilisk's other eye. The blind snake sways madly about in the chamber, and its tail sweeps the sorting hat into Harry's hands. Harry puts it on and wishes desperately for it to help him. Out of nowhere, it produces a glittering sword, which Harry then slides into the mouth of the striking serpent, killing it, but getting injured by a fang in the process. Fawkes lands back on Harry's shoulder and begins to cry. Tom laughs, proclaiming that even the bird knows that Harry is dying. But then all of a sudden, Harry's wound seals up due to the healing properties of phoenix tears. Tom is angered by this and lifts his wand to exterminate Harry. That's a very specific word. But before he can cast the spell, Fawkes knocks into the diary into Harry's hands, and Harry thrusts the basilisk tooth into the center of it, causing Tom to scream in agony and disappear. At this time, Ginny begins to stir, and Harry collects his wand, the punctured diary, the sword, and the hat, and follows Fawkes out of the chamber, where Ron and a thoroughly vacant Gilderoy Lockhart await him. Ginny is weeping and fretting, and Ron has cleared a space in the fallen rocks. The four of them hold onto Fawkes' tail feathers and are pulled back up to the pipes. Back in the bathroom, moaning Myrtle is a bit disappointed that Harry didn't die because she had developed a crush on him and was hoping that he might share her toilet. They all leave the bathroom and are led by Fawkes into Professor McGonagall's office. That is the end of chapter 17.
There we go.
Yeah, Myrtle is always very creepy to me in many ways, I think.
She's just a freaky girl. She's just a freaky girl. Poor thing.
Yeah.
She was in Ravenclaw, right?
Myrtle?
Yeah.
No? Was she?
I think so.
The word chamber makes me laugh.
Why? Oh.
Why?
I don't know. Saying I might be wrong.
Because of the word chamba.
Oh no, I was thinking about something else.
Yeah, so Mexicans, when they immigrated, they were told to go to the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
And, well, they were playing telephone, so they went to go to the chamba. And so we have chamba as, like, work,
That makes sense. Okay, the final chapter in this book. Chapter 18.
Chapter 18, Dobby's Reward.
Okay.
Was that not good?
No, it's fine. It's just the prune juice is working. I can feel it.
Well, we gotta get through this.
It'll be fine. It's just I can tell that it's working now.
Okay. I'm dead.
Well, me too, dude. I have to go again.
No!
I'm gonna wait. I can hold it. It's okay.
Harry, Ron, Ginny, and Lockhart enter McGonagall's office to find Dumbledore and Molly and Arthur Weasley waiting inside. The Weasleys fling themselves on their daughter and ask Harry how he saved her. Harry tells them everything from the voice to Aragog to Moaning Myrtle, managing to avoid the parts involving Ginny and the diary. When asked directly about the topic, Harry instinctively looks to Dumbledore, who gently prods him to answer the question of how Voldemort managed to enchant Ginny. So the part of the diary comes out into the open, and Dumbledore sends Ginny to the infirmary to ask for some hot chocolate. He informs all of them that the mandrake juice is presently being administered to the petrified victims. Dumbledore calls for a feast for the entire school, and he answers Harry and Ron. He awards Harry and Ron each 200 points for Gryffindor House on account of their daring task in battling the monster. Dumbledore then sends the clueless Lockhart to the infirmary under Ron's care, and finally he asks Harry to remain. Only 200 each?
I know. This was
They
about to
saved a
say.
life? They killed half of Dumbledore? Dumbledore.
Dumbledore. Oh my God. Con razón 200.
They killed half of Voldemort and they only get 200 points? BS. While Dumbledore is alone with Harry, he explains that Fox came to his aid because of the true loyalty Harry showed Dumbledore down in the Chamber of Secrets. Harry asks Dumbledore the question that has been bothering him for so long, whether he is in fact, like Riddle, marked with evil potential and predestined for Slytherin House. Dumbledore explains there is in gloriously reassuring passage that the Sorting Hat put Harry in Gryffindor because Harry did not want to be in Slytherin, and the choices made are far more important than abilities. Dumbledore also adds that only a true Gryffindor could have pulled the Godric could have pulled Godric Gryffindor's sword out of the Sorting Hat. The door bangs open, and Lucius Malfoy appears, Dobby squealing at his heels. Lucius is most upset with that Dumbledore has returned to Hogwarts, and Dumbledore calmly explains that the attacks have stopped and that 11 of the school governors contacted him, begging him to return to Hogwarts and suggesting that they had been blackmailed into suspending him. When Dumbledore holds up the diary as evidence from the recent events, Dobby begins to make strange faces and gestures, which Harry ultimately understands to mean that Lucius had split the diary into Ginny's book and Flourish and Plots so many months ago.
Mhm.
Lucius acts shifty and defensive when Harry accuses him of this, and he sweeps out of the room, yelling at Dobby to follow. Harry thinks quickly and wraps the diary inside one of his slimy socks.
Ew.
He literally takes it off of his foot, puts it over the diary.
Ew.
Why is
It's so disgusting. It's genius, though. Like, very smart on Harry's part.
it
Gross.
slimy?
Then hands it to Lucius. Lucius unwraps it and disgustingly throws the sock, which Dobby retrieves with a thrilled expression on his face. In handing him an article of clothing, Lucius has inadvertently freed his house elf, and Dobby thanks Harry profusely in front of the livid Lucius, and then the elf disappears with a crack.
Oh.
In the movie,
Why?
the actor who is Lucius was literally gearing up to say Avada Kedavra. Like he was ready to kill Harry, like straight up in front of Dumbledore. Like, what the fuck?
Why is it slimy?
I don't know. Boy feet are disgusting. Harry then attends the Great Feast. Hagrid returns, exams are cancelled, and Lockhart is officially removed from the school staff. And Gryffindor is given the house cup. Harry has not been this happy for a long time. The last bit of school passes calmly and happily. Defense Against the Dark Arts classes are cancelled, and Lucius Malfoy is fired as a school governor. All is well. On the train ride back to London, Harry curiously asks Ginny what she caught Percy doing. She giggles and replies that he was kissing his girlfriend, Penelope Clearwater, in an empty classroom. Fred and George are pleased by this bit of knowledge, and together they all walk back into the Muggle world for their summer vacations. The end.
The end. Yay.
Anyway, so final thoughts. This book is so slow. The last
Yeah.
3 chapters are the entire plot.
Damn. That sucks.
Again, super important for later on, but yeah, this is not my favorite Harry Potter book.
It
I
is
don't
not.
love it. No, whenever I read through the series, I hate going through this book because it's just so slow. The rest of them I have no issue reading. It's this specific book that I just feel is so out of place. I don't know.
It's just, I can see why it was important back in the day, but right now it's just a tough read. but
It really is.
it's not bad. I thought it was good. I love the ending because that's when all the plot happens, like you said.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yep. Plus, we get like Ginny introduced and like the Horcruxes, Voldemort
Absolutely.
himself, like that all starts to kind of come up.
And
It is frustrating.
Wait, so Voldemort put a little bit of his soul into Ginny.
No.
Oh.
Yes, kind of.
Because, like, that means she's technically a little bit of a Horcrux.
No, because
For that time
in
being.
order to make a Horcrux, you have to kill someone.
For that time being, though.
No. She's possessed. She's possessed, not like a Horcrux. But anyway, Ginny is not a Horcrux. She is not the 3rd or the 10th, imagine the 9th Horcrux. So thank you guys so much for watching or for listening, whichever one you're doing. It's always very helpful. Make sure that if you think someone is going to enjoy this podcast, let them know.
yeah.
Send it to them. Tell them that we're great and that we're so funny and that we're so interesting. And if you don't want to read books that people have all read but still want to know the stories, you should listen because we tell the entire story on this podcast. One of the best ways for us to get listenership or viewership is for people to tell people about this podcast, and it would be
Word of
really
mouth.
helpful, guys.
'Cause
Yeah,
we're
word
not-
of mouth.
We don't have money to pay for
Yeah, no,
advertising
fuck
yet.
that.
Unless you want to send us money, in which case I will add our Venmo / Cash App to the description.
Dude, we could use that for ads, I'm telling you.
That too. So yeah, please let people know. Shout out to the people who have been listening since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you so much for listening. Please join us next week, hopefully, where we will be going on. What's the book called, Gab?
We'll be going on about Z for Zelda, a novel by Zelda Fitzgerald. It's really good. It's really good.
It'll be really fun. Gabby's going to be hosting, so you get to have a bit of a different setup.
I hope I can be
And it's a different
organized.
genre. Yeah, it's definitely a different genre as well. So hope you guys look forward to that.
It's more of a historical fiction. I mean, it does have real world things in it, but like the writer rewrote everything. So it'll be fun. Very 20s. Maybe we can get dressed up for it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next week.
Yeah, guys, see you soon. Bye.
Bye.